In our audiovisual, we concentrated on the topic of nonverbal communication. As said in the book, nonverbal communication helps to accent or substitute the verbal message that people want to get across. As seen in our dances, the body movements of the dancers can often tell much more about the culture and the history than verbal messages could. That is why the kinetic channel is the most important channel for dancers.
In addition to body movements, the facial expression during service dances tells a lot about the story. For example, when performing the flamenco, the dancer has to have the central facial expression in order to underline their emotional status.
Also, the question if culture is rather individualistic than collectivistic has to be considered. Individualistic cultures like America, for example, focus less on the synchronization of body movements than collectivistic cultures. If one would translate it into the dance performance, it can be recognized that the hip-hop often includes battles between two groups that want to express their emotional, oppositional attitudes and feelings.
Regarding the cultural context of the dances and the performance, it's important to take in account if people come from a high or low context culture. People in high context culture mostly focus more on the non-verbal context than people in low context cultures. This can be seen, for example, in Namibia, a rather high context culture where even rules are carried out through dances and music rather than speeches or talks.
Another factor that can be interesting regarding the relation of our audiovisual and the theoretical aspects of the books are the key assumptions on page 277. The sixth assumption states that nonverbal communication mostly follows similar normative rules and can develop a personal or unique style of interaction. This can be seen in all of our dances as well. The dance patterns originate from the culture itself, but due to the fact that the people dance it nowadays and everyone has his own way of moving and interpreting the music, the dance gets a unique character. The goal is to educate high school children about different cultures and their backgrounds. They need to learn that different cultures have different backgrounds and that this should be respected. With this improved knowledge, they could also increase their interest and their motivation to get together with different cultures and have intercultural conversations without anxiety.
Our target group is high school children, and it's important for our target group because they are at the early stage of this development, which makes it easier to get them interested about new, different things. Children have not learned about different cultures at this stage yet. So it's very important to show them that what differences there are in the world and that this should be discovered and accepted. We can't tell if our goal has been achieved, but what we can state is that the process toward reaching the goal has been ended successfully.
The best examples from our audiovisual that illustrated our goal were the dance representatives, because they defined the message clearly and therefore it's easily understood what we wanted to state. They appear sympathetic and so the children learn which people are behind these cultures we were talking about.
The target group, if we had to focus on high school children, again, we would have shortened the talking of the representatives and add more visuals. Because in general, people have more focus on this and would be able to remember more of the video if it includes visuals.
The question we would ask ourselves would be, are the examples we chose good ones in order to represent non-verbal communication among different cultures? As we learned, there is a lot more emotion and information in non-verbal communication than in verbal communication. Hence, the practicing of these dances helps the people to express much more than they could have done through verbal communication, like speeches and talks.
Okay, what I learned about this project is that dancing is, even though it's a fun topic, it can also be quite an interesting topic to research. We chose especially dancing because, as I said before, it's fun. Okay, this is kind of fun. Doesn't matter because I was shit. project is that even though our topic is very fun, it can also be very interesting to research, because it even makes the project more interesting to do. And you know, we put a lot of effort in it, more effort than normal, because we enjoy it. So dancing, I chose dancing particularly. I agreed to choosing that as our topic because dancing brings everyone together in the world, and everyone can dance, no matter how they look like or from which country they are. And that is also what we wanted to express. So what I learned now is that I also got more experience in other dances of the world. There are dances like, for example, the Aboriginal dance that I never heard of before. And now I finally know what it is, and it's really interesting to know more about other dances and to see what other people in the world, how they dance and how they express their feelings. So that is what I mostly learned about this project.
What I learned about this audiovisual assignment is that there's a lot more behind non-verbal communication or dances as you would expect. As I stated in my bibliography, I went to Namibia, and that's why I also chose the Namibian dance. But I thought I knew a lot of it about it, but then I recognized after researching and studying this topic, I really learned that there's a lot more behind it, that you can express very much and a lot more than you would through talks and speeches and everything. And that's why it is very important to learn about these things, because we need to get together and cooperate with different cultures and communities. And the first step in this direction to have a successful cooperation is that you learn about the culture and the backgrounds and how people express their emotions and feelings in order to live and work together with them.
For me, it's really an interesting topic. I know much about the dances from different countries, and I know how to do audiovisuals, and how can we do it more interesting to the. In my opinion, what I learned what is audiovisual, and I know much about the dances from different countries, and I know the different cultures in each country. And the most things is I know what is teamwork, and what should I do in the team.
Yes. I don't know, is there anything else? Okay, so we really enjoyed this assignment.
Yeah,
It was
a lot
really
of fun.
Yeah, so thank you. And now we better bring otherwise with us.
Move your body to the beat, to the beat. Move your body to the beat, to the beat, to the beat. Move your body to the beat, to the beat, to the beat. Move your body for the night, but only for the night, for the night, for the night. Yeah, baby, we can ride, we can ride, we can ride, but only for the night, for the night, for the night. Body.